Hello, everybody. My name is Tony Heil with ALS United Mid-Atlantic, and this is the Goals Podcast. It's a podcast where we discuss the many different perspectives on ALS from people who are living with the disease, surviving spouses, caregivers, researchers, staff, everyone that runs a gamut to talk about ALS and how we can support those who are living with it. Today, my guest is Jackie Aronchik-Cox. She has been involved in a special event at Haverford College for a long time, Haverford University, and we'll graduate it. I'm at Haverford for many, many years now. And we're going to talk about this special event, why you should participate, and how these events can really connect with the people who are living with ALS or other loved ones to be unique to them and hopefully to support further research and care. Jackie, thanks for talking today.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
And you've been working on this event at Haverford for many years now, right? When did this first begin?
So I started this concert in 2016 was our first concert. So this is our 10th concert. My mom passed away from ALS in 2015. And that spring, right after she passed away, I wanted to do something in her memory and to help bring awareness through an event. So that's when we started it.
And Haverford College has actually been supporting ALS even before then. There are other people who've been connected to it. So what's your connection to Haverford? I really need to highlight that.
Absolutely. So I started working at Haverford College as the head field hockey coach in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got the job there, I also am an assistant strength coach there. And in 2008, our head strength coach, Corey Waltz, started the 5K run walk in memory of an alumni, Joe Schwartz, who passed away from ALS, and he was a cross-country runner. His son was attending Haverford at the time, also a cross-country runner. So we were given the initiative to bring an event to Haverford that would benefit the community and bring awareness to health. So Corey, I wasn't there yet. This was 2 years before I got there, but Corey came up with this wonderful event to support the ALS Association and raise money and awareness for the disease in honor of Joe Schwartz. So fast forward 2 years later, I get the job at Haverford, and because I'm a part of the strength and conditioning staff, I got right into it and helped him prepare for the event. And it's a really involved event where we have the outside community. You could attend and run even if you didn't go to Haverford, and everything was connected through the ALS Association, where all funds that we raised through this race went to their association. 3 years later, I'm still working at Haverford and highly involved in the event. And my mom was diagnosed with ALS. So it's kind of weird. It was right before or around the time of the Ice Bucket Challenge. And so my mom gets diagnosed in the fall of 2013. And, it was absolutely devastating, but made me that much even more involved in our Joe Schwartz run. So then 2 years later, my mom passed away. She had a bulbar. So it was very aggressive, a really fast progression. And when she passed away, I just wanted to add something to what we do at Haverford, and I was thinking of ways to add to this and raise more money and more awareness for the event that we do at Haverford. And I thought, my mom was a singer, and she was a music major at Muhlenberg College, classical pianist, folk guitar, and I thought, we're already raising awareness through running, which is an activity that, people with ALS eventually can't do. So I thought, what would be another event that would highlight things that this disease strips away from people? And it's the ability to talk, to sing, to use your voice, to use your hands. And that was what my mom was all about. So I added this concert, and it started out just being an a cappella concert using all of the a cappella groups at Haverford College and inviting some a cappella groups that were off campus to come and sing. And now, 10 years later, it's grown into something a lot more where we are inviting musicians to come and play the cello, to play the piano. We have violinists coming. And again, it's to, in memory of my mom and to celebrate all the things that she loved and music being a big part of it, but to, um, I guess allow those who can't sing anymore or play their music anymore to share in the beauty of music and be able to at least listen to it.
That's wonderful. And, with how long Haverford's been involved with the ALS cause, I've been to the 5K, and it was really neat attending that and having some people who are running in the Joe Schwartz 5K who remembered Joe and they knew his family. And so that was the reason they came, even beyond, like you said, Haverford's part of the wider community. And now when I think of Haverford, I really think about the connection to ALS. It's just like how I think about the Phillies. I think about them in ALS because it's been such a long-standing relationship. I imagine having you be there, it must feel extra special knowing that this college has taken this as a cause for over a decade now, for 15 years or so.
Yeah, it's actually, I think we're going on our 18th year.
Wow.
And yeah, so making it reach more people in a different way is important to me. And yeah, we're still doing the run. And that is going to be late April. And that will be on our website and everything. We're doing the concert a little bit earlier just because it works the best with the music department and getting the availability of the room that we need, the hall to be able to have the concert. But yeah, the two events in conjunction are amazing. And last year we raised over $30,000 for the association solely through the concert, and then adding in that extra, thousands of dollars that we've raised through the run. It's an amazing cause, and it's important to me.
Oh, clearly it's very important and it's so personal. I remember because we talked about this a few years ago with the concert. Your son, I believe, was born right around when your mom was diagnosed, right? Like it's a whole family affair for you and your family.
Yeah, so I was due on October 5th of 2013. And my mom was supposed to be in the delivery room with me. October 2nd, I actually ended up having a C-section, and I texted my mom, or I called my dad, and I said, you guys can come over to the hospital. I'm in the recovery room. And he said, Jackie, we need to actually, we're going to come tomorrow, but we are sitting across from a neurologist right now. And your mom was just diagnosed with ALS. So that was literally right after I had Colin. And, I guess I didn't really process what was going on until in the middle of the night when I woke up in the hospital, and I was just like, what? And just broke down. Um, so yeah, it's crazy just how things happen, and you know, for her to, I guess to get the worst of it, and really have it progress so fast. They gave her 2 to 5 years, and she lasted 2.5. And she probably, I mean, the way ALS goes, it was probably growing in her for a while. Um,
So she had
but
been diagnosed then. Had you had probably seen some symptoms or had heard it was like, well, maybe you weren't prepared for ALS because I don't think anyone, even if they know it, is ever prepared for that diagnosis. You and your family have been talking about, how helping your mom and how she was progressing before that diagnosis, right?
Yeah, she had her words were slurred.
Hmm.
And she was also an exercise teacher as well. She taught spinning and very active, very healthy individual. So she noticed her words were starting to slur in right about Easter time of 2013. and we would joke around and say, "Oh, you must be drunk,"
Mhm.
or stop, and we would joke around. Or she went to make sure she didn't have like a slip disc in her neck, and that was affecting her speech. And I think finally she was getting pretty deep and seeing the neurologist down. I think it was at Penn. Um, and we had no clue she was seeing a neurologist. So that was when she was diagnosed, it was a complete surprise to me. I had no clue that they were even considering that. I thought it was something in her neck that was making her speech slurred.
And so after that, you connected with ALS United Mid Atlantic, which we are now.
Mhm.
And I know that you had talked with our nurses and social workers as well. What kind did you get some support for you and your family and for your mom during that time?
You know, we did not. My dad is a physician.
Hmm.
And my mom was scared, really scared. And I think that, for a little bit, they went down and they did do the test to see how it was progressing. So they did use the ALS Association and the neurologist to monitor symptoms and give her the medication that could slow the progress, but we never ended up reaching out for the help that we needed. And it was a huge toll on our family physically and mentally. And I think my dad put it upon himself to want to take care of her on his own.
Hmm.
Um, and at the end, with when she really couldn't walk, we did end up reaching out to get a bed, and to get all of the suction machines we needed. So yes, they were so helpful with that, but I wish we would have reached out way sooner so that we could have been prepared and had talked to, someone there of what to expect. I think that um, nothing would make it easy at all, but it would have been a process that was, I think, psychologically a lot easier on us as caregivers.
Hmm. And you work so hard at Haverford for awareness and letting people know about the disease and connecting people with stories. I know you've all often reached out to us at ALS United Mid Atlantic to find people who can speak about their own experiences with ALS. Is one of your goals that hopefully others will reach out for help sooner, that they will reach out to our social workers and nurses to get that help, and it's okay to ask for it?
Absolutely. And I think what I wish I would have done is, the patient is going to go through the process how they want to, and I think that there's some that are going to want to reach out right away and get every resource possible. And there's some that are going to be like my mom and be afraid that if they use the resources, it means it's real, and
Hmm.
that's scary. But I wish that on my own, I would have reached out and you don't have to include the caregiver. I mean, sorry, the patient, you as the caregiver can get resources yourself. Um, and it's so needed. It's just unbelievable. We were scrambling at the last minute to find a way to get a bed to put in her room that would keep her comfortable. Getting end of life care, getting the proper machines to be able to care for her ourselves. Like, we really cared for her ourselves. And not only that, but it's really expensive. And I think that there's ways to be able to afford the proper care using ALS Mid United.
Yeah, and I think about the work you do in athletics and what Corey did has done and everything, and it's an important part of Haverford. I'm sure that's a lesson that you can now tell the people at college, the athletes, that it's okay to ask for help. Because I know in sports and athletics, that sometimes people feel like they want to show that their toughness and they don't want to ask for help. But you're not going to be a good athlete if you're not willing to ask for that sometimes.
Absolutely. Whether it's your mental toughness, whether it's physical, yes, you need to be able to be a little bit vulnerable, and everyone's human. And it's important to reach out for help.
So now that you're doing this event, and tell us the date and time so we can remind people again about when this event is happening.
Yes, so this will be Friday, April 4th. The concert starts at 7 p.m.
Hmm.
It will be at Haverford College in Marshall Auditorium, which is in Roberts Hall. Um, Plenty of seats, and it's a nice big space. We have a lineup of a cappella groups from Haverford College. We have my brother was in the Philadelphia Youth Orchestra, and he actually performed at one of the ALS events, the galas. So
Mhm.
Joan asked him to, she heard him and was like, wow, he's amazing. I'm like, yeah, he is. So he came and he actually performed at an ALS Mid-Atlantic gala 2 springs ago. But he will be performing with a pianist. And then we have a couple of violinists that are going to be performing who are in the Delaware Orchestra. Um, and then we have some other musicians that are going to come and sing and perform with a guitar, and it's going to be a really, really nice event. We have a really good friend, JP Dunphy. His father is Fran Dunphy, who coaches
Mhm.
at LaSalle. So JP is a performer, and he does a lot of Broadway stuff. He does a lot of plays, and he was in the media theater production. So he's going to come and he's going to perform a few acts, and he's amazing. So it's going to be an event that is extremely eclectic in the regards to the type of music we're going to perform. And it's also just a very authentic grassroots concert as well. So it's, run by myself and my family. We don't have professionals coming in here and producing it. It's a very comfortable environment for everyone. And it's one that I hope everybody wants to come and share in and support. It's free admission. We do have a QR code that I will be displaying, and for people to donate to ALS Mid Atlantic. And my hopes is to get more than $30,000 that we raised last year. Every year it's growing. So but most importantly, I want people there to share in the experience, and even to talk to after about other people's experiences. It's great to, I wish I had a community that I could reach out to and go through things with while my mom was, progressing with the disease. I didn't really know about the ALS Association and what they provide, and maybe the community that could provide me healing and support. So those are, the reasons why we hold this.
And it's an all ages event, right?
All ages,
My
all ages.
son is 9 and he's taking up violin in his third grade class, and so maybe he'll want to come and see and learn more about playing the violin and
Yeah,
all the different instruments. My other son's in band too, so
yeah,
it's really neat to see them learn from others. And I imagine the reception from the Haverford community, from the other students, from the other faculty, is very welcoming and supportive. How's that for you?
yeah. It's great. I mean, everyone supports it. Everyone, our dean of students comes. Our athletic director was there last year. She's only in her second year at Haverford, and she was able to come to the concert last year, and she loved it. We have lots of students who like to attend and support not only the cause, but their friends that are singing, because they have, and Haverford is really known for their a cappella groups, so it's amazing to watch them sing.
Hmm.
Um, So it is, yeah, the support is great. And I do want to add that my mom and my brother Jake, who's performing, when he went to the Episcopal Academy, which is in Newtown Square now. But they performed a piece. My mom played the piano and he was on the cello, that won that is called the Dorikayat. Um, and they won the whole thing with this. So he's going to be playing this piece with my uncle, who is my mom's brother. So my mom's brother is
Wow.
going to come, and he's a excellent pianist. I mean, music just runs in the family. So it'll be a really special duet with them.
That's a wonderful tribute. And again, it's really nice when you have these events that are personal to the person who is living with ALS or had ALS and the family. And you can get these details and sign up at alsmidatlantic.org. Go to our events calendar and you'll find this great event. It's been going on for years and only getting better over time with the support from the Haverford community. You mentioned Fran Dunphy, and Fran recently retiring from LaSalle,
Yeah, yeah,
but he has been involved with the Billy Lake Basketball Marathon for many years.
yeah.
And so, the whole local university system has supported the ALS cause.
Hmm.
What's it like to you, having gone through this in a very personal way, and seeing that you have people like Fran and others who are in our general area, in the Philadelphia area, and bringing attention to this disease.
Yeah, Fran Dunphy is best friends with my dad. They golf whenever he's not in season. They both are members at Rolling Green, and JP, his son, went to school with my sister, and they did plays together. So his support is so appreciative, and he comes every year to the concert, and it's probably hard because it's during Final Four weekend this year, but I don't know if he's going to end up going or not, and because it's his last season. But he's typically there, and just yeah, I mean, I know Patty Lake. My husband, my husband's uncle Dan Quinn is married to Patty Lake, so we have a nice connection there, and Dan Quinn and Patty Lake support this event as well, and I know that you know Patty's her event, her basketball event has just skyrocketed, and the beef and beer that she holds, and these are just so important. It doesn't matter. I think what I realized is that it doesn't matter how small of an event it is, any money is going to help the cause because
Mhm.
we need to find a cure. We need to be able to help support people. And, at first I was like, what's my little concert going to do? But I don't care. $30,000 is $30,000,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like,
That's a power wheelchair for somebody.
exactly. It's just, and I think that more people should want to do if they can and if they have the ability, like do what you want, celebrate the loved ones, remember the loved ones that you have, and put on little things. And you know the ALS has the gives the ability to run these private events, these smaller events, because it means so much. And I'm thankful that I'm able to easily go onto the ALS Mid-Atlantic website and create my own event. Like
Mhm.
that is so awesome. The fact that I can, without having to go through hoops and ladders to do something good for a great cause, I can go and I can do that myself. And that's how I started this. I did it with the ALS, create your own event button.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad that it's easy, and you can always reach out to our team. You can talk to our director of events and director of engagement, Carrie,
mhm.
or Lexi, or Chris, or Taylor, or Carla. They all can help out in different ways. And I'm sure if someone came to you at this event or in general and said, "Hey, starting an event is intimidating," you would be happy to help them too with some guidance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Dan Quinn is our board chair, and he's been involved with Patty for with their event for over 30 years. And I'm sure when you meet somebody who is living with ALS, recently diagnosed, or even yourself, and you see that people like them or others have been involved for decades, that's got to give some comfort knowing, okay, there are people that aren't new to this that have been doing this for a long time.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I reached out last year and this year and the year before to Dan Quinn just to ask him, a little bit of support, like how can I make this bigger? That's my goal, and he's been trying to connect me with different people, and they're great. They're just such great advocates, and they're so helpful and so genuine, and it's really appreciated. Appreciated.
Yeah. And so now that you're having this event, it's coming up in April 4th at Haverford, great a cappella event. And you hope that it will raise money for ALS care and research, right? That is your goal, is for
Absolutely.
just the overall
Mhm.
mission. It's not like it's one thing and no money for the other thing. It's just whatever can help, correct?
Whatever can help.
And that means a lot. And so when you see the progress in research over the years, you've been involved with this in some way or another for over a decade now, for around a decade now, and you see that we have made some progress, but it's not enough. How does it seem when you? How does it feel when you see that we've had some new drugs developed, or when you see updates in research? Is that hopeful for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's a really complicated disease.
Hmm.
Um, and I think, my cousin is actually getting her PhD at Texas A&M, and she is a neuroscience, and she's working on MS. So
Hmm.
that's what she does right now, and she's in her fourth year. It's a 5-year program, so she's constantly working on trying to find cures for MS, and I'm sure that the more we find out about neurodegenerative diseases, the more we can help all of them. But yeah, I think that just I keep looking at the progress, and I hope that um, sooner rather than later, we're going to find something to halt it in its place when you're diagnosed.
Yeah, we're really trying to do more and more collaboration. We were just at one of our ALS treatment centers, the one at Hackensack Meridian Health in New Jersey, and the same place where they're doing ALS work is doing MS work. And that's really good for me. My mom has MS. My grandfather on my other side had ALS. And so knowing that it's the same kind of people talking about this is really great. And ALS United Mid-Atlantic is part of the Cures Collective with a lot of other ALS groups, including IMALS, Les Turner Foundation, and broader. We're talking about the MS Society and Parkinson's groups and patient advocates. I feel like we're doing more collaborating now than ever in my 15 years or so involved with this. I'm sure for you, when you see that there's more collaboration happening, that's got to be really invigorating to know that your efforts are going towards a much wider project.
It is. It is. And I know that whatever I raise or all my efforts, are going to just constant care for people who need it. And that's what makes me feel good.
Great. Well, it makes me feel good too. I'm really glad that we get to work with someone like you who takes this so seriously and makes a difference. So, Jackie, with the event coming up, last words, what are you most excited for? What do you want to let people know in the last minute here about why people should attend this event at Haverford College?
My goal was not only to remember my mom, but bring a community together that had something in common. And for people, I mean, I started it because I didn't want my mom's name to be forgotten, and I wanted
Mhm.
to remember her, and I also wanted to, um, you know, help the community as much as possible. But I think now it's morphed into how can I get people together? How can I um, help people feel like they're not alone? So I really want to see people there that I've never met before. I want to see new faces. I don't want it just to be people who support me and my family. I want it to be a bigger event where people are coming together, a common cause, to feel good, not to feel sad, to feel good, because we're going to do something great.
Well, I think we're all going to be thinking very well of Susan Aronchek, and it's because of Jackie and all the work you're doing, and we're going to make some real progress for others living with ALS. Thank you so much, Jackie. And again, if you want to learn about this event or other events, go to our events calendar at alsmidatlantic.org and follow us on social media, pretty much all at ALS Mid-Atlantic. Jackie, I wish you the best, and I hope you have a great crowd at this event.
Thanks, Tony.